Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Be sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, so please subscribe. Also, if you'd like to donate and to help support the channel, I'm trying to raise money to get a better computer. So if you could donate anywhere from $50 to $100 at paypal.me/Shakaama, that would be much appreciated. What I really want to do is produce my own movies, maybe animated movies, or maybe using CGI movies. It'll look like real humans in real rooms, real offices, real hospitals, whatever. That's what I want to do. So it really pains me to make these videos and not fully realize what I'd like to do with them. And then, of course, you get the lesser production of it. This is the story of Tyrone. Tyrone loved women. It's to be expected. Tyrone, however, is black. And to the sisters, you can't love all women, just black women. I won't say it's his downfall, but let's take a look at his story. Becky woke up with Tyrone not beside her. The clock read 3:33 a.m. She heard his voice and got out of the luxurious bed. Okay, well, I'll transfer the money out of my retirement account. And you could hear the voice over the phone, crackling just ever so slightly. Sir, that will incur taxes if you do that. I don't have a choice. I have to do it. Becky being fairly well off, which she didn't tell Tyrone, understood immediately what was going on. Tyrone had gotten them this luxurious penthouse suite on the spur of the moment, on impulse. She guessed he was trying to be romantic, spontaneous. This was their only third date. He, the ever gentleman, had paid for every date so far. She guessed he was overspending and probably at best could have afforded the lowest tier room in this luxury hotel. Becky's net worth was 3 times his. He didn't know. Tyrone finally hung up the phone. He stood in the bathroom for a minute or two, just standing there, thinking to himself. He heard a click, he thought. He went back into the bedroom and found nobody there. Not only was she gone, having slipped out of the room during his phone call, but then she didn't return any of his calls. Ghosted. The room that night not only cost him a pretty penny, but it cost him the entirety of the interest he had made thus far on his retirement account, on top of the taxes he had to pay to make the early withdrawal. So in essence, he was back at square zero, not even square one. He had to cough up even more money than the interest that he made on the retirement account, which means that he had less money in his account than had he just kept the money in his pocket. He told this story to his older brother, who was also single and unmarried. He asked his brother, was it a white thing that she disappeared and maybe he didn't offer to help pay for the room? His older brother told him it wasn't a white thing per se, but it wasn't not a white thing either. So it both was and wasn't a white thing. It was a white woman thing, however, more than a white and more than a woman thing. Tyrone was confused. Older brother explained. I checked up on Becky. Shush. Don't at me. Did you know that she's the vice president of her company and she's not 27? She's more like 37. She keeps herself looking young. Tyrone, she's named one of the wealthiest people, not just women, in our city. So in essence, you were trying to wine and dine a woman that could buy both of us under the table. Not once did she ever offer to pay half. She heard you on the phone in the penthouse suite. She didn't offer to help pay for that? That's a woman thing. Tyrone, I asked around, and the story is she buys purses that cost as much as that penthouse suite and collects them. Oh, and finally, she's on record complaining about having to pay for men. But don't misunderstand, a black woman would have done the same exact thing. Trust me on that one. Tyrone had a lot to think about. He guessed she wanted to finally be treated instead of treating men. But why him? She had heard the trouble that he had faced paying for the penthouse suite. Why didn't she offer to pay half or even all of it? He had already treated her a few times before. She ghosted him over the next several months, and he stopped calling her. It was a hard lesson, but he learned it. A week later. I just believe the man should pay, the latest girl said at the local bar. Tyrone picked up his drink and moved to the other side of the bar. The bartender wiped the bar and said, "Honey, are you going to order a drink? If not, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." When she left in a huff, he came over to Tyrone. I know for a fact she works at Ernst & Young and is on track to be partner. She makes bank, but comes in here, mooches off of guys until she gets plastered, and then goes home with him. Sure, the guy gets what he wants out of her, but the drinks, at least $100 worth of booze. I'm in business of selling booze, but she's not worth $100, no matter how you slice it. And she can afford it herself. I know she targets the younger staff men who don't make a tenth of what she makes. They don't know it. You made the right choice and a move to move away from her. Tyrone said, "Yeah, I've been burned by that scam already. They say they're old-fashioned, meaning men pay for the dates, but they're not so old-fashioned as to get married, have kids, and stay at home and take care of them. It's on one big fat lie, the whole I'm old-fashioned. Sir, let me buy you a shot. I overheard your story." A man saddled up to the bar and sat next to Tyrone, middle-aged white guy. The bartender said, "This is Roy. He's good people. He's also worth some money." So the three men sat drinking all night, and Roy treated Tyrone. When 6 a.m. rolled around, Tyrone's brother opened the door, arm around Roy, who then passed him to his brother. Roy saluted the two and got into his limo. His brother asked, "Tyrone? You know Mr. Ernst?" You mean Roy?" Tyrone slurred. Big brother gasped. "You're on a first-name basis with Mr. Ernst?" "Yeah, he bought me drinks all night," Tyrone said, dropping to the couch. Big brother just scratched his head. "Ty, listen to me. You go back to that bar next week, dressed like $1,000,000, and you stay there till Mr. Ernst comes back, and you buy him a drink, and make sure he understands you'd like to work for him." Big brother and Tyrone then spent the entire week buying Tyrone a tailored suit. And come Friday night, he walked into that bar, and there sat Mr. Ernst, right where he was last week with Tyrone. Tyrone started, "Let me buy you a drink, Mr. Ernst." "Nope, I won't hear of it. And I know exactly who made that suit. And I know it probably cost you a week's salary. I won't hear of you buying me a drink. That'd be rude of me to accept that. Something tells me your brother of yours got into you. Tell you what, since you went to all of this trouble, and I like the taste and tailors that you have there, which happens to be my tailor, let's start you out as a junior executive." The bartender came over and poured all three men a shot. "This one is on me, gents. Congrats, Ty." They all downed the shot. What does a junior executive do?" Tyrone asked, fumbling for words. They all laughed for a good 5 solid minutes. "Everything," shouted Roy, patting Tyrone on the back really hard. And that's the end of the story, or this is first part. If you really like it, you could put a thumbs up and leave a comment that says, "Give us more of this story." And for those of you who are confused about how an executive would offer some stranger a job just because he's wearing the same suit, A lot of times you will get the job or get the promotion at work, and I've tried to make this point before. You'll get the promotion or you'll get the job because the person hiring or an executive sees you do something that they also do. So in this story, Tyrone is actually wearing the same exact suit from the same tailor that this executive frequents. So he saw in him himself. So he was very pleased that the guy had the same taste in clothing, went to the same tailor, and he also realized that he probably spent more in that suit than he probably ever did before in an article of clothing. And they will understand this, and they will hire you or promote you. This is a true-to-life story. Tell me what you think. Thank you. And if you'd like to be a patron of mine, I'm at patreon.com/Shakaama. I have different tiers you can help support me at, all the way down to $5. Thank you all for watching. And thanks for all the tremendous response lately. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry this wasn't a movie like I wanted it to be.